Imagine driving a car with 50% electrical power on a street circuit that's open to public traffic all year round in pouring rain with wings that move on their own. This isn't just a race, it's a physics equation gone wrong. We are looking ahead to the 2026 Australian Grand Prix, and if the historical data holds true, we aren't just looking at a race. We're looking at the most expensive scrapyard in Formula One history. Melbourne is notorious for 4 seasons in one day. But when you combine that unpredictability with the radical 2026 regulation changes, the stakes change completely. Before we dive into the data, I want to know where you stand. Do you prefer a chaotic, wet race with red flags, or a pure, dry strategy battle? Drop a comment below Team Wet or Team Dry. To understand the forecast, we have to understand the surface. Albert Park isn't a dedicated circuit like Silverstone. It's a public park. For 360 days a year, everyday traffic polishes the asphalt until it's smooth and oily. When rain hits a normal track, it grips. When rain hits Melbourne, that oil lifts to the surface. It becomes ice. Now, historically, the Bureau of Meteorology puts rain probability in March at about 20%. Low, right? Wrong. In F1, we don't care about average rainfall. We care about timing. A 5-minute shower in Q3 destroys the grid order. But here is the open loop that nobody is discussing regarding 2026. The 2026 cars rely on active Aero, wings that flatten for speed and pop up for braking. This system is designed for drag reduction in the dry. But what happens to active Aero sensors when they are covered in spray? If the FIA declares a wet track, does the active Aero get disabled? If it does, drivers lose their primary tool for efficiency. If it doesn't, imagine a wing stalling because a sensor got wet at 300 kilometers per hour into turn 1. This is the technological gamble of 2026. And it gets worse. The 2026 power units have a nearly 50-50 split between combustion and electric power. Electric torque is instant, it's violent. On a dry track, that's acceleration. On a damp Melbourne street circuit, that is instant wheel spin. The drivers will be managing a car that wants to snap sideways every time they touch the throttle. The crossover point, that moment you switch from wet tyres to intermediates, will be more dangerous than ever. One lap too early on a car with this much torque. Game over. We don't have to guess what this looks like. Look at 2023. The temperature dropped, the tyres went cold, and we had 3 red flags. Total chaos. Now magnify that by the 2026 chassis, which is lighter, but shorter. Shorter wheelbase cars are snappier. They rotate faster. So we have a shorter car, instant electric torque, on a polished street surface, potentially in the rain. This brings us to the most critical strategic element, the safety car. In Melbourne, the pit loss time is roughly 20 seconds, but under a safety car, it's only 11 seconds. With the high probability of crashes in these new cars, the weather forecast essentially guarantees safety car interventions. Teams won't just be watching the radar, they'll be watching the gravel traps. The winner in 2026 won't be the fastest car. It will be the team that predicts the safety car before the rain starts falling. Statistically, Melbourne in March is a coin toss. But logically, F1 has a way of summoning the rain exactly when the cars are hardest to drive. If the track is dry, we see a speed battle. But if we get even 1 millimeter of rain in 2026, we are looking at a driver skill gap exposed like never before. The rookies will sink, and the veterans, the Alonsos, the Verstappens, will swim. The 2026 regulations are going to shake up the grid, but the weather is the one variable Newey can't design around. If you want to stay ahead of the curve on F1 technical analysis and race intelligence, make sure you subscribe. We're tracking every update on the 2026 development race. And hey, if it does rain, at least the fans in the grandstands won't need to add water to their shoeies. It's just efficient hydration. See you in the next one.